So I'm Amanda Tolley. I look after the talent function at SKYCITY, which is effectively a huge privilege because I get to unlock the potential of our people. So what I want to do just quickly is introduce you to who our people are. There are nearly 6,000 of us in SKYCITY across 5 sites in Australia and New Zealand. Incredibly diverse. Our youngest employee is 16 and our oldest is 82. Our employees identify with more than 70 ethnicities and speak more than 50 languages. However, 2/3 of our workforce are now considered millennials or Generation Z. So I can assure you the future is now. Just in terms of our workforce, our business, our flagship site obviously is here in Auckland. You'll know that by the tower. The last 7 years has seen this city completely explode with a rapid expansion in dining, tourism and accommodation sectors. We've had to keep pace with that and have had to evolve and extend our offering. With new restaurants and bars, a new hotel coming up, and live entertainment, including the hosting of esports tournaments. Pretty sure most of us didn't know that that existed recently. We're also developing new digital experiences. By 2020, we have 2 very significant capital projects due for completion, which means that we'll anticipate employing an additional 1,200 people. So remaining competitive as an employer is particularly challenging, let alone getting ready for the future of work. As already mentioned today, there's a low unemployment rate, there's tightening immigration policies, and we have rapid job growth in our sector. So really the demand has completely outstripped what's available. Hospitality by its very nature is incredibly demanding, physically, socially and mentally. That creates a transient workforce, which in turn leads to higher turnover. There are also 2 notable trends, which will be no surprise to you in the New Zealand labour market. Stats show that we have a disturbing trend in youth unemployment and social issues. Unfortunately, our Māori and Pacifica are overrepresented in these numbers, and we need to do more for that untapped talent pool. Then we have this new worker, as Volker's just touched on, this Generation Z who are changing the landscape. And after some recent millennial forums and Gen Z forums, we can tell you that this is a group that is global, socially minded, and definitely more entrepreneurial than previous generations. They demand a completely different experience, and they are seeking a purpose beyond profit, which you've already heard today. They're not alone in this. I'm going to refresh, but most of you will know that one of the world's most significant investment firms earlier this year warned companies to make a positive social contribution or risk losing long-term support. So the message is clear. If we don't have an authentic positive social impact, we will lose a licence to operate. So just in terms of what we're doing around some of our workforce, we have a lot that we're doing, but I just wanted to touch on a couple of key points today. We are working on collaboration and employee empowerment programs. So giving employees a voice gives them a sense of belonging to the organisation, and already we're gaining very valuable insights from this, and it sounds like that ports are as well. Our development programs are completely transforming. We can't predict what the future is going to look like, but what we can do is ready our people to have new skills to adapt to that. Such things such as learning agility, collaboration techniques, innovation are all being explored, but things like empathy and resilience are really important too, and these are things that we're considering. The thing I'm most proud of is more recently we've been defining what we stand for as a business, and you've heard it already a few times around purpose. We've established that we want our communities that we operate in to be better off for our involvement and not worse. We have taken a more deliberate and intentional community investment strategy, and our key focus will be to channel all of our investments and sponsorships into outcomes which empower communities through youth development, as opposed to a previously scattered approach to supporting charities and sports sponsorships. So one of our key pieces of work that we're working on across the next 12 months is to build a purpose-built training and employment concept specifically for unskilled youth through a partnership model. Some of this new workforce have some very complex support needs, and I think it's important that we identify and recognise that. And so for us, getting that support's actually essential and being able to retain them ongoing. For us, this is certainly about building employability skills, but it's also creating a future pipeline for talent for our business, whilst also making a positive social impact. It's particularly aspirational, and we know it will be tough, but we recognise as a business we actually have to own these solutions. That government is simply not being able to deliver these to us, and really it's us that will benefit from it in the long term.